with respect to SQL Server clustering, it is meant for like failover. I'll explain you what is failover. Like the same kind of thing is available in Snowflake as well. We call it replication. Okay, that is in case of say cloud failover or any other issues, right? It will switch between primary and secondary nodes. That is a primary database and secondary database. It is kind of backup. Okay, you will get to know today. Like we are trying to. I'll show you. Like while creating account itself, we are saying all these days we are saying it is available on all clouds, and it has got advantage, right? So today, I mean, while creating account itself, I'll try to show you. Before that, we'll try to do a quick recap of what we covered so far. I mean, in the yesterday's session. Let's show this thing. So basically, yesterday we discussed the difference between the relational database architecture and then Hadoop architecture, that is Hadoop Big Data architecture, and then the Snowflake architecture. Basically, um, since an like relational databases, since it'll be like we have limit in terms of scaling. That's when we'll have to uh, will face, if the data volumes increase, right, we'll face scalability and performance issues. Scalability is nothing but like adding resources. Okay, that is increasing the capacity of the server. That way you can take it. Okay, so and since it will be kind of centralized store, and it is one mission, will have restrictions. That's when big data came, and they were trying to distribute the workload, okay, across multiple slave nodes. That is here the flaw in Snowflake, Hadoop architecture is even both data and then compute will happen in slave nodes. That is, it will get distributed. As I said, it will split Hadoop HD. In Hadoop architecture, as soon as you try to load some data into Hadoop, like all your data gets splitted into 128 MB blocks or files. So, and it will be distributed across multiple slave nodes. So when you try to read data from HDFS, it will have to combine all this data. That's when, like most of the times, in simple terms, okay, in simple terms, if you have to understand. So since it is distributed, even data is distributed, when you try to combine data, you will face issues. Okay, so that's when Snowflake came up with a unique architecture. So they combined the advantages of both like relational database, what advantage it has, and then Hadoop architecture. Say shared disk, we call relational database architecture as shared disk, and then like Hadoop architecture as shared nothing architecture. So this Snowflake is hybrid of these two things. Okay, if you explain it this way in your interview, right, like this impression will be very good. Say especially for experienced folks. Okay. It is combination of it is hybrid of shared disk and shared nothing architectures. So here we have listed data is stored in cloud storage and works as shared disk model, thereby providing simplicity in data management. For compute, like it takes advantage of performance and scale out benefits of shared nothing architecture. Okay, that is your compute will for compute, your workload will get distributed. That is, if a lot of users are trying to log in, they won't be waiting in queue. Okay, it will automatically add compute resources. We'll see like how this compute will work. The major advantage in Snowflake architecture is here storage is separate and the compute is separate, query processing is separate, right? And both can we can increase the capacity of storage to any extent. Since it is in cloud, there is no limit in terms of volume of data that you can store in cloud. Okay, and then for compute also, like almost it is kind of unlimited scale, because as I said, like we do query processing. That is if you run a query, like it will allocate, Snowflake will allocate compute resources or the resources in order to execute that query. That is the processor, RAM, all these things through virtual warehouses. Okay, we have different sizes of virtual warehouses. Let me show those things. Here virtual warehouse is nothing but cluster of compute missions or compute nodes. Okay, so if we have different sizes of virtual warehouses. Say if it is extra small, it will have one compute node. Small, it will have two compute nodes. Medium will have four. That way, if you take 4XL, so we have different sizes of warehouses. I'll show you how will I mean, say you are using extra small, how you can increase it to large, medium, this way. It will be simple, on fly will be able to change. Okay, so today we'll try to see how we can create a Snowflake account, and then there also you will get to know few of the things, since we are saying it is available on multi-cloud, sorry, it is available on all clouds, how it is and how it works, all these things. And apart from this, there is one more thing. So basically Snowflake architecture is three-layer architecture, right? One is storage, query processing, and cloud services. So this cloud services is brain of system. Okay, it manages infrastructure, all these things. I'll explain in detail about that. This query processing will be done with virtual warehouses, and here it is massive parallel processing. In the sense, parallelly it can execute multiple queries. Okay, that way your I mean, users or queries will not be waiting in queue. Okay, so if say what I mean to say in queue, all these things are right. If someone is not aware, so when you try to run queries, right? Say you in relational database, it has certain processor capacity, RAM, and all those things. So it can run at one point of time. It can handle maximum say 100 queries, for example. Okay, if the number of queries that are getting executed on top of that server, if it exceeds 100 queries, it'll be those queries, the additional queries more than 100, whatever are there, say 120 queries we are trying to run, those 20 queries will be waiting in queue, right? For this earlier, that is for this 100 queries to get complete, or else at least 20 to get complete. So then like this 20 queries which are waiting in queue will start executing. You are able to understand, right? That's what I mean to say. We'll show that scenario as well. Okay, and within Snowflake, what is that kind of, at single point of single point of time, how much queries it can handle, right? That we call it concurrency. Okay, concurrency means parallelism. Parallelly, how many users will be able to query your data, okay, at single point of time. So that now like a lot of the users has increased, right? So that's when the I mean the server utilization also will increase, in the sense at single point of time many users are trying to connect and try to access the data. Okay. Yeah, here with respect to cloud services, right? Cloud services, what kind of things it will manage is, I think I have listed that somewhere in detail. What are the things that it will manage? Let me come here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, this cloud service layer, right? Cloud service layer basically manages authentication. Okay, we are saying cloud service layer is kind of brain of this particular Snowflake architecture, right? It manages authentication, in the sense then you try to log in, right? User logins, it will authenticate whether your username and password is correct. If it is correct, then only it will allow you to access data in Snowflake. Okay, and then infrastructure management, that is assigning compute resources, and then when you try to insert data, where it has to store in cloud, all these things, decisions will be taken by this cloud service layer. And then metadata management, when you try to create a table, right? The table structure is nothing but like the number of columns that you are defining, the data types, all those things. And as I said, the data will be stored in micro partitions in storage. Okay, cloud storage. So we'll discuss how data will be stored in Snowflake in a separate detailed session. Okay, so then you will get to know clear picture of how data will be stored. Now you don't need to worry. So each and everything, say if you are not understanding any terminology here, right, no need to worry. Everything, each and every concept will be discussing in detail. Okay, with respect to Snowflake. So here, and then query parsing and optimization, this also will be taken care by cloud service layer. And access control, that is access management. So next session will be on access management only, like probably tomorrow or the next day after tomorrow. We'll discuss about access management, role based access control. Okay, so that that is the key thing, right? Before we get started, access, you should understand what are the different roles, how access control will be managed, those things. Okay, and apart from these three layers, basically there will be one more layer. Okay, cloud agnostic layer. This is for your additional information. Many people who are working, right, who are even Snowflake expert, they are not aware about this layer, cloud agnostic layer. Okay, this is kind of fourth layer. That is when you try to create your Snowflake account first time, right? First time, that is when you create your account. that time it will give option to select which cloud. Okay, either AWS, Azure, or GCP. Now we'll be doing that after this uh, theory is done. Okay, so that time, like it will use this cloud agnostic layer. What is cloud agnostic is it is a terminology. If you see here, what is cloud agnostic is generally regarded to refer to applications and workload that can be moved seamlessly between cloud platforms. In the sense, simple terms, say whatever the application, right? If you can without any issues, if you can switch between different clouds or move between different clouds, right? That particular thing we call it cloud agnostic. Since Snowflake is available on all clouds, you can create your Snowflake account in AWS, Azure, or GCP, any of the clouds. That's why we call it cloud agnostic. Okay. So, I mean, freshers no need to worry about all these things. This is additional information. So many people are not aware of this layer itself, cloud agnostic layer. This, since it will be used only one time, first time when you create account, right? That's why many people are not aware of this. Mainly, even in interview, like if they ask you about the Snowflake architecture, you'll have to say these three things only. Maybe you can highlight, like if you want to highlight your deeper knowledge on Snowflake, right? You can say even there will be a cloud agnostic layer as well, but that will be used only first time when we create our Snowflake account. Okay, when we choose our cloud provider. So basically, the advantage with separate storage and separate computers, few organizations they'll have high storage demands. That is, they'll use more storage, more volumes of data, but they don't need processing capacity or CPU, right? They don't want they'll not be processing the data heavily. Okay, in that case they'll be paying only for storage. Okay, few clients they will be they'll be storing small volume of data, but they'll process it frequently, and then they need more processing capacity or power or more processing capacity, right? In that case they'll pay only for compute. Okay, so that's how this is advantageous in the sense. And again, even charges, like how Snowflake charges is like it will charge separately for storage and compute, right? So that's when many clients will get advantage out of this architecture. That is, whoever like whichever client has more volume of data, right? They'll pay only for storage. Say that is based on client needs, right? Let me give me a second. I think someone joined. One second, guys. My screen is clear, right? Any issues? If you face any issue, let me know, since it is online. Like I don't know, I will not get to know, right? I'll be going in my flow. It's clear, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
can continue.
Cool. Yeah. So what I mean to say is, few clients, they'll be using more storage. Okay, their requirement is they'll have large volume of data, but they won't use compute much. Okay, in that case, that client will pay more amount for storage. They won't pay for compute. Okay, and few clients they'll have less volume of data, but they'll use more processing. That is, they'll run a lot of queries. In that case, they'll pay only for compute. Okay, this way, this is advantageous, because if they are tied together, that is coupled, storage and compute are coupled, then they'll have to pay for both. Say storage and compute together, right? Here it's not the case. As I said, we can even turn off this processing if they're not using it. Say in weekends, in night times, if no one are running any queries, you can we are not going to turn off manually. Snowflake itself will automatically suspend this warehouse. Okay, I'll show you that option now. Let's get started with creating Snowflake account. Okay, so if you go to, so everyone, like whoever wants to practice, right? You will get 30 days free trial, but we have observed that it will extend up to 60 days. Most of the times, that is, if you create it after first, right? Usually, like it will extend for up to 60 days. I'll try out. Maybe probably today also. Okay, since it follows UTC times. I'm not sure, but we'll try. Okay, in the sense, it might get extended to 2 months also. Usually minimum 30 days it will be active without I mean, here we no need to pass even credit card, debit card details as well. Let me Snowflake. If you search for the Snowflake website itself, right there, if you go here, there you will get an option in the right side, start for free. Okay, start for free. Here you'll have to click on this particular option. Now it will take you to the sign up page where you'll have to pass your details. Let me accept the person. Okay, here you'll have to give your name, like your own name, any name you can give. I'll give skill pillar. Okay? And then I'll give this mail ID. You just need to give your mail ID. That's it. No need to give any other things like mobile number or credit card, debit card. Nothing is required. So it'll be simple. So this is also another advantage. If you want to learn, like if you say other cloud skills, right? There you'll have to give. Say if you want to learn Azure, it will be there only for 1 month, and with one credit card or debit card, it will be one. You can create only one account. Okay. So with the same card, like you can't create another account. That way they have set up their process. Okay, so you can't practice it after some time. But here it's not the case. It will have, you are just giving mail ID, right? So I'll give skills here. You can give any company name. That's fine. They're not going to verify or something, right? You can click this. I don't want to send any notifications from Snowflake, and then continue. So here, as soon as you pass your details, right, it will ask you to choose Snowflake edition. Okay, there are 4 types of editions basically. Here it lists only 3 editions. We'll discuss what are the difference between the editions. Snowflake editions. Standard is the basic one. Enterprise is the mostly used. I mean, many clients will use this enterprise edition. Okay, so depending on the edition you select, right, pricing cost also will vary. Okay, we'll be discussing all these things. Hello, any issues? Yes. I hear someone was speaking. Okay, so here, based on the edition, that is standard is the basic edition. If you use standard edition, like cost will be a bit less. I mean, how Snowflake charges, we'll discuss all these things in detail. How the charges will vary based on edition, and what options you get with each edition. Okay, so since most of the clients will use enterprise edition, we will create our Snowflake account with enterprise edition. Okay, we will be seeing all the differences with respect to editions. What standard edition, what is the difference? Enterprise, business critical, what if you keep on upgrading your edition, right? This is basic. Next is edition. The next highest is business critical. Apart from this, there is virtual private Snowflake also. There is another edition. So if you want to, so what it will do is, if you increase the editions, it will add more security features and then some more advanced options it will provide. Okay, but in enterprise you will get most of the options. So that's when like most of the clients will use enterprise edition. Okay, and then the next thing is, it will ask you to select cloud provider. I told you, right, Snowflake is available on all clouds: Azure, Microsoft Azure, AWS, Amazon Web Services, and Google Cloud Platform. So I mean, based on your client needs, suppose your client is using Azure Cloud, so they will host their Snowflake account in Azure. That is, they'll create Snowflake account in Azure. Okay, and if they're using AWS, they'll create Snowflake account in AWS. That's depending on the client needs. Okay, few clients they'll use multi-cloud. They'll be using Azure and AWS, both the things, or AWS and Google Cloud, Azure or GCP. That combination nowadays, as I said in my demo session, clients are not restricting to one cloud. Okay, they wanted to utilize whichever services are good in which cloud. Say data services are good in Azure, so they will use data services in Azure, and infrastructure related services are very AWS is top, so they will use that infrastructure related services in AWS. And artificial intelligence, machine learning related services are Google Cloud is top in that. So they for those services they'll use Google Cloud. That way clients are moving slowly. They're moving towards multi-cloud. Okay, they're not sticking to one cloud now. Okay, so that's when like Snowflake has advantage, because it supports on all clouds. Say you are creating account in AWS, you will be able to even read data that is there in Azure. Say you have some files in Azure Blob container, right? So see guys, like if who are not from cloud background, no need to worry. Whatever the knowledge that is required for Snowflake, right, will be covering all the stuff. It will be simple. You won't be using all the services in cloud. You will use just storage services most of the time. Storage services in cloud. So I'll show you. It will be simple. The storage service, nothing much to learn there. Like you can understand storage services in say 30 minutes. Okay, we'll be discussing that. So we'll be using AWS, since the main reason is if you select Azure, right, if you want to practice, say you wanted to load some data from Azure to Azure Blob container to Snowflake. In that case, this particular account, it will be active only for 1 month. So they're providing free account. I mean, free trial only for 1 month Azure. Whereas at AWS they'll give it for 1 year. Okay. So if you want to practice, right, both the things, either it is Azure or AWS, for us as a Snowflake developer, it doesn't matter. I mean, there is not much change. Say 95% it will be same. Okay. Only the connection, how we set up those things, a bit it will vary. Okay. So I'll be sharing, if someone wanted to learn, I mean, use Azure on top of Snowflake on top of Azure, I'll share how we'll establish connection, all these things. Okay. No need to worry. For now, since AWS provides 1 year free account, like we'll use AWS. Okay. So that even for your practice, it will be helpful. So you can practice in 2-3 months also. If you go for Azure, again, you have to give credit card and go with creating another account, a different card. So that's why we'll go with AWS. Now, after selecting this particular cloud provider, right, it will ask you to select the region. Okay. Region is nothing but, see, this particular cloud, Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, right, they'll be maintaining data centers in different regions. Okay. Throughout the world, they'll maintain data centers. That is basically, let me first show, throw a quick overview of what is cloud. Okay. Maybe if you are not aware, at least on high level. So you can install your, you can install your software, say SQL Server, Oracle, that particular relational database in your machine that is on premises. Okay. So you will have to buy your compute, that is infrastructure. Infrastructure is nothing but you have to buy your machine, processor, storage, that is hard disk, all these things. Okay. Yourself, you will have to invest some money and buy it. Whereas with cloud, everything they'll be providing you. Okay. They'll be cloud providers, say Azure or AWS, they'll provide that particular infrastructure. You can use it based on your need. There were other things also. They will, here, if you are going with cloud, you no need to pay any licensing cost. Okay. Licensing cost. And then they will manage all those things. Say they'll make sure all the time, whichever machine you are using, right, it is up and running. If there is any failure, they will only maintain replication and try to switch all those things. They'll be taking care. Okay. That's when cloud is booming now. So even for clients, it will save time and then save money. Okay. With cloud, that's why they're moving for cloud. Probably I'll take this particular thing separately. I mean, cloud computing basics, what is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. I think people are feeling that we are not covering practical things. The practicals, we have not started practical sessions. So we'll be discussing each and everything in detail. Okay. Let's start with creating account and then create a virtual warehouse, all those things. So you can select the region. Okay. That is this particular cloud, say AWS will be maintaining their data centers in different regions. Okay. Throughout the world. So if it is, say your client is US client, they'll select any US regions, say US East, Ohio, or Oregon, any of these regions. Okay. So basically, how clients will select this region is, suppose if it is Indian client, okay, Indian client, they'll select the region which is closest to them. Okay. Usually this is the standard everyone will follow. So if it is Indian client, they'll use Mumbai, Asia Pacific Mumbai. In Mumbai, we have AWS data center. Okay. There they'll maintain all their infrastructure. So when we create our Snowflake account, right? All your data in the backend, it will be stored in AWS cloud in this region. Okay, this will be managed by Snowflake. Okay, we are not going to do anything. Snowflake will manage all these things. You will have to you have option to select which cloud and which region. Okay, clear? And then you have to check this option and then get started. Here it will ask you to select all squares with cycles. That's what it is asking. You can, my bad. Traffic lights. So you can just select this option. Okay. Wherever it has top traffic lights, it will ask for that. And then, like, you can why did you sign up? It will ask. You can we can say training and certification. Okay, and then submit. Anything you can select. That is just for their survey, or they will store that information. What purpose you are creating this account, and that's it. So if you see, start for your 30 days free Snowflake trial account includes 400 credits, $400 credit, right, worth of free usage, $400. Okay, so for 30 days you will get this $400 worth of free usage. I mean, if you use it extensively also, you will, within the 30 days you'll not be able to use your credits completely if you are properly using it. Okay, you will never exceed this limit within this 30 days if you are practicing it extensively also. So no need to worry about that. Let's submit this. So whichever mail ID that you have passed, right, for that mail ID you will receive an activation mail, okay, from Snowflake. Let me come here. This is the mail ID that I have used. If it is not coming in primary, you can go in promotions or the social. It'll show that. But here it came in primary itself. So I'll open this and click here to activate. So now, as soon as you click on this, it will ask you to give your user and password. Okay, that is, you can give your own username and password, whichever you wanted to use it for logging into Snowflake account. I'll give skills care. Okay, you can give your own name, your name itself. Okay, and then some password. Password should be 8 characters. It is combination of numbers, uppercase and lowercase. Okay. Give some 4-digit number and then some uppercase, that is capital letters and small letters. And then if you click on enter, so here there is one issue, something like that. Like, so after this, you can click on enter. It will submit this details. That is, it will create that user and password. Now, how you will access this Snowflake is, as soon as this is done, you will receive one more mail. Okay, one more mail, and then here also this will take you to login page. Okay, here you'll have to give your username and password you just gave. Okay, and then sign in. This is how, like, you will be, able to log into your Snowflake account. Now this is new UI they have recently introduced, so called Snowsight. So Snowflake, slowly it is evolving like data cloud. That means they don't want to strict to like one as database, cloud database or cloud data warehouse. They wanted to provide end-to-end solution. So even they wanted to add reporting services like Snowsight. So Tableau and Power BI we have, right? The same way, even Snowflake wanted to build their own reporting kind of application or tool. Okay, that's when they recently came up with this new UI. Okay, new UI called Snowsight. So here with this UI, you can for now you can generate even basic reports. So your clients can use this as a reporting tool as well. That is, whatever data you have in Snowflake, right? You can create reports on top of that, but you can't create advanced report like Power BI, Tableau. Those options you won't get. Slowly, maybe over a period of time, they will make it completely a reporting tool. With full features. Okay, these are attractive things. Many clients are going for Snowflake because they are not restricting to just cloud database or cloud data warehouse. They are adding a lot of features. Okay, so see, if you take in real time, like most of them are not using, this is new UI they have recently introduced, so they are not familiarized with these things, so they will use the old UI itself. If you want to switch to that old console, in the right side, you will get this option, classic console. Click on that. Okay, classic console. If you click on that, it will again ask you to log in. Just log in. So now it will open the old console, classic console. Okay, here you can see like our relational database, right? You will see the list of databases. That is, you can create. Here the advantage is with UI also you'll be able to do a lot of things simply without writing code. Okay, and even the code. Suppose if you are creating some database, say I'll give like DW database. Okay, DW, and if you want to see the SQL of this, it will show. That is, here itself in UI itself you'll be able to generate. So this is simple. Suppose even if you don't remember some syntaxes, right, you can generate that in development environment. Okay, in your dev account, like you can try to create that, and if you run, I mean, if you execute, I mean, I click on the show SQL, it will show you the script. Okay, not only for this, for all things, whatever you wanted to do here, right, most of the things you can use, do it with UI itself. Okay, so they have made it easy to use. Anyone can learn and use it. Okay, so this is these are sample databases that Snowflake has provided in order to practice. So this is one thing, and this is for data shares that we are discussing, right? So we'll be seeing all those options. Data marketplace is for say you wanted to buy some data which other clients are maintaining. So instead of, say, some public data sets will be there, right? Say Aadhaar number is there in India. So many clients or organizations, they would require that information, at least few details, basic details. In that case, instead of this particular client maintaining all the data, they can there will be few data sellers. Okay, that is using data marketplace, someone else will be maintaining that data. They can sell that data. Okay, you can simply make use of that. You are not going to manage that data. That way it is advantageous. I already told you, right? You can sell your data, you can buy data in Snowflake. This option, this is unique feature that no other cloud data, platforms are offering, data platforms. Okay, this is data marketplace is one thing, but most of the clients so far, they have not reached this level. That is, they are not using this, but this option is also there. Maybe few clients, they would be using this option. Okay, and virtual warehouses. Okay, warehouses, many people will get confused this warehouse terminology. They'll think that this is data warehouse. Okay, this is not data warehouse. This is no way related to data warehouse. Okay, here warehouse is nothing but virtual warehouse. Okay, that is cluster of compute missions. We have seen, right? Let me show this. Compute will be done through virtual warehouses. So virtual warehouse is nothing but cluster of compute nodes or missions. Cluster means group, a group of missions. Okay, I'll show you what are the things. By default, as soon as you create a Snowflake account, one warehouse will be assigned. That is compute warehouse. Compute underscore warehouse will be there for everyone, whoever creates a Snowflake account. Okay, using this particular account, we can using this particular warehouse, you can run your queries. Okay, if you have to run anything in Snowflake, right, it requires compute. Since storage is separate and compute is separate, so you would require this, and you can suspend this. See now it is in suspended state now, because it is not being used. As soon as your account is created, it will be in suspended state. You can resume it by clicking on this particular thing. First, I'll show you how we will create a virtual warehouse here. Okay, let me click on this create. Okay, so you can create a warehouse using SQL as well as using UI also. So what is this warehouse? Warehouse is cluster, that is group of missions. Okay, which will be used for running your queries. Okay, I'll show you that. Let me first show this particular thing. That is, if you want to run some query, I'll pick some data. That is, I'll try to read data from, say, sample databases. That is, Snowflake has provided some sample data. I'll try to just show you. If you have to run a select statement, right? Select star from this particular table. So if you have to run this query, it would require one compute, that is one virtual warehouse. Okay, that is data is, see, all this data will be stored in cloud in the backend. Okay, so if you have to run that is read that data or insert data, whatever it is, right? If you want to do anything, it would require compute resources. That is, it needs processor, RAM, all these things, right? So you can select for that. You will have to select this warehouse. Okay, right now it is in suspended state. That's fine. As soon as you run it, it will become active. The reason is the options would be set in such a way that it will automatically resume when you run a query. Let me run this. Okay, that is select star from one table, call center I'm trying to do. See, earlier it was in suspended state. Now if you see, it will be in active state. Okay, let me come here, come to the warehouses. Sorry, come back. See here, started, status says started. So we didn't start it automatically started because we selected that warehouse, and then like we ran this query, right? As soon as a query is run on top of this particular warehouse, it will show you the data. In the sense, it will even if it is in suspended state, it will become active. Okay, let me show you how we'll create a warehouse. So see, slowly we'll grasp things. If you are not understanding, don't worry, you can let me know now itself. Is it clear, like what is warehouse here? Warehouse here is basically used for compute, that is running your queries, query processing. If you want to run any query, it would require a warehouse, virtual warehouse. Okay, you can create multiple warehouses. Okay, let me create our own warehouse.
Hitesh,
Yeah.
Hitesh. So while we are running the query, we have to choose the particular warehouse, or it will be automatically choose the
No.
warehouse.
See, for that, for executing that particular query, whichever warehouse you want, right? You can select that. You will have that option. Let me
Okay.
see. We have only one warehouse now, right? That's why you might be thinking like, by default it will try to assign some warehouse, but you have that option to choose which one you have to use. That option also is there. Okay.
Okay. Without
Is it
choosing also we
something?
can do.
Yeah.
Without
Is
choosing.
it some? Sorry, please go ahead.
Hitesh, I mean to say without choosing the particular warehouse also it will execute, or
No. You'll have to select a warehouse.
so
That is
every
which warehouse.
time we are while executing every time we have to choose the particular warehouse. You mean to say, right?
Not every time. If you choose for this worksheet, let me show you. You'll get to know those things. Like now, say in this worksheet, I'm running this query. I have selected this, right? If you want to run another query, no need to select again. This for this worksheet, for this entire worksheet, this is the context. Okay, this is the role that is used. Okay, we'll be discussing what are the roles, all these things, and this is the warehouse that is used. So say in this worksheet, if you're running something else, some other query, like if you run that, it will use this warehouse. Okay, let me show you, like no need to confuse. I'll create a warehouse. Okay, it will give all the options. Right now if you see, we have only one warehouse, right? So that's why it will show only that. Okay, if you create multiple warehouses, all that list will appear here. You can select which one you have to use. Okay, let me come here. Let's see, first understand, you got to know that we would require warehouse to run queries, right? So that the purpose of this warehouse virtual warehouses, it will provide compute resources. That is, if you want to run any query, you will have to select this warehouse. Okay, and then here there are different sizes of warehouses. I'll show that while creating it. So we'll try to create our own warehouse. This is compute underscore where wh is Snowflake provided warehouse. By default, it will, for everyone, like this particular warehouse will be there, but you can create your own warehouse. Usually how it works is, say ETL team, they'll create their own warehouse. Reporting team, they'll create their own warehouse. There were few advantages if they use a specific warehouse for the entire team. Okay, we will discuss all those things in detail. Say I'll create ETL underscore warehouse. Okay, here one thing you have to observe is, in UI, if when you try to create a warehouse, the default size it came is Excel. Okay, extra large, 16 credits per hour. That means it will have 16 compute nodes. Okay, let me show. These are the different sizes of warehouses I was showing you, right, in this document. Let me show. Yeah, See here, there are different sizes of warehouses. That is warehouse sizes: extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, right? So all those sizes will appear here. Okay, small, extra small will have one compute node. So this credit is nothing but how Snowflake charges for compute is based on credit per hour. Okay, we'll discuss those things in detail. But you can correlate this 1, 2, 4 with number of compute nodes as well. That is, extra small will have one compute node, small will have two compute nodes. If you see here, that's what we listed, right? One compute node, that is one compute mission, two compute missions, four. It will double. For if you increase the size, it will double. Say from extra small to small, 1 to 2, from small to medium, 2 to 4, large to, that is medium to large, 4 to 8, that way. Okay, that way for 4XL it will have 128 compute nodes. So we have listed those things also, I feel.
Hitesh, how will choose for that compute nodes for based on our SQL statement? If it is a huge means.
Yeah, that's true. If it is complex query, if data volumes are more, then we'll increase the warehouse size. So most of the times you see in real time, you don't exceed this Excel. That is, no one will use more than this. It is not required, but we have that option. Okay. Most of the times we'll use for small queries, we'll use extra small, and normal things we'll use medium or large. Extra large.
Yeah.
Max you will use extra large or 2XL. You won't go for the 3XL and 4XL. Okay.
In a real-time scenario, it will choose for more size.
No, you won't go beyond Excel. That's what I'm saying. Because your data, is not based on your data. You will decide which warehouse you have to use. Okay.
Okay.
I'll explain. I'll explain all those scenarios. So first, try to understand this particular concept, like what is this warehouse and how it behaves. All these things. Okay.
Okay.
I'll let you know when you have to go with increasing the warehouse size, and then we have, apart from this, see, if you are increasing the warehouse size, right? That is right now. I'm going to create. Okay, let me create one warehouse with ETL underscore warehouse. Okay, underscore WH. Let me go here. So here, for one thing, here we have some interview questions with respect to while creating a warehouse. What is the default warehouse size when you try to create it with UI? So here with UI, as soon as you try to click on this create, what is the size that it came? It came as Excel, right? So this one they'll ask you in SnowPro certification and interviews also sometimes. Okay, so it looks simple, but they'll try to ask. So you can this is also an interview question. What is the default warehouse size when you try to create a warehouse in using UI? Okay, we'll be covering all interview questions within our sessions only, and also we'll be sharing that list also, what kind of things you will get on each topic that we are going to discuss. So this is not only interview, but in certification SnowPro also you will get this question. It looks simple, but they'll ask this kind of things only.
Yeah, and also 16 credits per hour means what is that exact meaning?
That is based on the warehouse size, right? Warehouse size you are selecting. Your cost will increase. How Snowflake charges for compute is based on credits. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. If you increase the warehouse size, like you'll pay more cost. That's how it is.
That is per hour. It's a 16 credits, or
yeah. So here it shows per hour, but ultimately how it calculates is per second basis. Say you have used this for some 90 seconds. Okay, it will keep that. When we discuss about pricing, right, that time you will get to know clear picture of how it works. But you will be paying per second only. On per second basis.
Which time we are using only, it's taking, right? If we are not using, means it's disable mode only. It's not chargeable, right?
That I'll show you here itself. That option will come. Okay, this is one option, but I'm not going to create this warehouse with extra large size. I'll select extra small. Okay. Yeah. We'll take the questions probably in. Okay, I think already it's 8:47. That's fine. So here for now I'll create only one cluster. Okay, and then there are some options like scaling policy, all these things. We'll discuss all these options in detail in tomorrow's session. First, you see this option, auto suspend. By default it is 10 minutes. This is also an entry question. What is the default auto suspend time? What is this auto suspend option is? Say you are creating this warehouse, right? So as soon as you create, it will be in suspended state. If you try to run a query, it will become active. How it will become active is we have enabled this auto resume option. Okay, if you enable auto resume option, if say this particular warehouse will be in, initially it will be in suspended state. When you try to run a query in your worksheet and try to select this warehouse, right, it will become active. You can observe that. Okay, that is one thing. And this auto suspend option, what is this auto suspend is, say your warehouse is not used for 10 minutes, then automatically from active state it will go to a suspended state. Okay, so that's how you will save cost. These options, this auto suspend, this kind of options are not there in, say, Synapse, Redshift, all those things. But probably they are trying to add it slowly. But right now, these options were not available in those cloud data warehouses. Okay, that's where Snowflake has edge, because client will be paying only for what you use, true pay as you go model. Okay. So the minimum here it shows is 5 minutes, but you can create this warehouse with SQL also. That time you can give even seconds, auto suspend time as seconds. Okay, I'll explain this auto suspend option clearly. Don't need to worry. So if you want to give some comments, you can give that. Now we have created this using UI, right? If you want to generate SQL script for creating this warehouse, you can click on this show SQL. It lists you this. Okay, list you the script. Okay, so this is how, like, easily you will be, without remembering even the syntax, you can create warehouse and then create a database table, all these things you will be able to do that. Okay, simply with UI itself. So let's close this and try to create it with UI itself. Okay, and after creating this, anytime you can increase the warehouse size, decrease the warehouse size, and change the options also. Okay, auto suspend, auto resume, all these options. Let me finish this. Okay, you can have multiple warehouses. Okay, and here another main advantage is each warehouse can access same data. Okay, so your ETL team is trying to read data from this table, say this table. Okay, reporting team with their with another warehouse. Okay, say that is they can create another virtual warehouse for reporting team, say reporting underscore warehouse. So that warehouse also at same time it can access the same table, the same data. Okay, that is data from same table. So that kind of things also, all these virtual warehouses will act independently. Okay, don't confuse now itself. We'll be covering all those things. For experienced folks, maybe they're able to correlate, but others no need to worry. I'll explain that what I'm trying to say clearly. Okay. So now we created this ETL warehouse. Let me suspend this. I won't suspend this. Okay. Now as soon as this warehouse is created, right, it will show all the things. That is what is auto suspend time, auto resume, whether it is enabled or disabled. That is, if it is yes, then it is enabled. No means it is disabled. So who is the owner? That means role, account admin, sysadmin. We'll be discussing all the roles in detail in probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Here now this particular ETL warehouse is in suspended state. Okay, now I'll try to pick another query. Say I'll place this customer address or customer. So this is also like database. You will be able to see all the databases. Under database, you can see the schema. Okay, views, tables, and then there were other things like stages, file formats, Snowpipes. We'll discuss everything in detail. But this is also kind of, it'll look like similar to a database. It'll have tables, views, all those things. Okay, and then if you want to query any data that is there in this database, you will use this virtual warehouse. Okay, that is for today. You will have to understand that. Now I'll try to query data from one table. Say I'll pick customers, place name in SQL, and then I'll do select star from. If I use this, if I run the same query again, right, it won't use virtual warehouse at all. The reason is there are caches internally. So that's why I'm not trying to run this. I'll explain that concept clearly. So now if I tell, like, you will get confused. Okay, no need to worry. Like, everything will be discussing in detail. So if you go in the same flow, right, then you will understand it. So now itself, if we try to move into advanced topics, you will get confused. Okay, we'll go in that flow step by step so that you will understand each and everything clearly. So now here, earlier there was only one option, compute warehouse, right? Now I'm selecting ETL warehouse. Okay, that is, if I in this, for this worksheet, this is the context, this is the role, this is the warehouse, and then a database schema, all these things. But I'm giving the database and schema name directly. That is with fully qualified name, right? Database name. This is the database name for this table, and then schema name, and then the table name. Okay. Now if I try to run this query, see, now one thing you have to observe is this ETL warehouse is in suspended state. If it is suspended, it will show it as blank or white, this particular circle. If it is active, it will show it is in green. Or else, if you go to warehouses, it will show this ETL warehouse in suspended state. Okay. See, creating this warehouse, all these things, you will not be doing it as a developer. Okay, it is admin activity. But if you know the different options, what is I mean, how we will create a warehouse, what are the different options, as a developer, you can save cost, compute cost. Okay, that's why we are trying to cover. Even in interview, they'll ask these things. What is scale up, what is scale out with respect to virtual warehouse? Many people will not be able to answer. We'll be covering that. At least today, I'll try to show you what is scale up. Okay, scale out, we'll discuss it tomorrow. We have just 5 minutes left. We'll have to take questions also, right? So if you run this, this particular warehouse will become active. Let me see. Like earlier it was white, now it is green. Okay, that is this particular warehouse has become active. That is, from suspended state, it became active. The reason is, if you go to this warehouses, we have enabled this auto resume. Okay, auto resume as true. Okay, that is yes. So what will happen, even if it is in suspended state, as soon as if you run a query, right, as soon as you try to run a query, it will become active. Okay, this is one thing with this option, auto resume. And then the other option is auto suspend. 5 minutes we have set, right? We can change it to like 1 minute also. Let me change that. We have this script somewhere. Guys, like, everything will be discussing as a practical things. Okay, it's not only, we just started practical things. It will be more, 70-80% will be practical, only 20% will be theory. Initially you have to understand, right, what are different things. That's why we are trying to like do it start with these things. Okay, let me create another warehouse. Let me copy this entire thing. So now this is active and this query got completed. Okay, I'll try to create another warehouse with SQL. Okay, that is, using UI also you can generate the same script. I'm trying to create a warehouse with name single cluster and warehouse size as extra small, and then auto suspend equal to 30 seconds. It will be in seconds. Okay, that is, if you make it as 30 seconds, right? If this particular warehouse is not used for 30 seconds, it will automatically move into suspended state. Okay, see how Snowflake charges for this compute or warehouses. If it is active, right, even if you are using it or not, that is none of their business. If it is active, you'll have to pay for compute. That's why you'll have to set up this auto suspend time. Okay, that is, if it is not used, that is, it has the status says it is started, that means it is active. Okay, and no one is using this particular warehouse to run their queries. Okay, to run their queries. In that case, if you decrease this auto suspend time, it will not, if it is idle, that is, if it is not used for 5 minutes, then it will go into automatically move into suspended state. I'll show that quickly. We have just 2 minutes. Probably can we continue or can we do that tomorrow? Okay, let's quickly show that. I don't want to take much time, so that you will understand how it works. So I've made it as 30 seconds and then creating this warehouse. Okay. Now I created single cluster underscore warehouse. Okay. If you go to warehouses, it will be there. Okay. It is in started state. As soon as it is created, it'll be in started state. Now we have set this auto suspend to 30 seconds. If you wait for this 30 seconds from started state, it will automatically go into suspended state. You can observe that. That is, if you're running any queries, like it will get extended. Okay. If you're not using this warehouse for 30 seconds, it will go into suspended state. So this is how, like, see, it changed to suspended state. Okay. Earlier it was in started state, right? Now it switched to it changed to suspended state, because the reason is we have set this auto suspend option, I mean time as 30 seconds. Okay, that's why. If it is 5 minutes, say you are not, this is still active, we are not using this warehouse, but it is still active. The reason is auto suspend time we have set it as 5 minutes. Okay, these are some of the options. There is another concept called multi clusters. Okay, that is, I was saying you, right, auto scale, like based on demand. That is the number of queries that you are running in your warehouse. It will automatically, like, increase the capacity of compute. Okay, how that happens is I'll explain that tomorrow. Is it clear whatever we discussed today, guys?
Yeah, yes, Hitesh.
Yes.
If someone are not able to understand, right, you can reach out to me, or else now itself you can ask those questions.
So as of now, you covered that is query processing, right? I mean, second layer, as I've explained, architecture. So
Correct,
second
correct.
layer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Hitesh, Vidya here.
Hey, hi Vidya.
Hey, one request, I mean, it's a request or suggestion you can consider.
Yeah,
Like, why don't you mute all of us, till you complete the session, and later in the last 10 minutes you can unmute us, right?
Yeah, that's what I was doing earlier.
Yeah.
Probably since it is start of the sessions, right? If they're not clear, sometimes if I proceed further, they'll I mean they'll not be they'll get confused or something, right? That's why I was
Yeah.
trying to do that. Yeah, for sure. I'll be
Yeah.
doing that.
Why? Because no, like, see,
Even in the recording, there will be different disturbance, right?
no, not only that, but you'll be thinking something in the mind and you'll be going on flow. See, something flashes in my mind. Maybe that you will cover later. Like, I can write it down for that moment. In the last 10 minutes, I can ask if it is relevant to this session. You will tell yes, it is relevant. If not, it will be covered in the later sessions. That way,
you are right, Vidya.
yeah.
That's why
See, when
usually
you were talking about the warehouses, the many questions were running on my mind about the caching. See, my level of experience is different, others is different. I just cannot go and ask those questions and disturb the flow.
Correct.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's
For sure. From tomorrow onwards, we'll continue.
Take others' opinion also.
50 minutes. I mean, last 5-10 minutes, we'll try to give it for queries. Like before that, like we will try to avoid questions. Okay.
Yes. Thanks.
Yeah. Others, like, don't take it the other way. As Vidya said, like, whatever is in my mind, right? Whatever I wanted to convey, sometimes it will get diverted because of. I mean, if some other questions comes up, I'll go in that flow.
That I observed.
Yes, Hitesh. Yeah, exactly.
You are going to today. You are planning to cover the UI of that one. Once you log in, what are the options you are planning to cover? But you do few questions. We stuck at warehouse only. But I feel that we have a separate session for warehouse, and there will be covering in deeper.
Correct.
It is neither full fledged. It will become like that. Like, we will get into the.
That's true. Yeah. I got it, Vidya. I mean, you are 100% right. Like, we'll try to do that way only. Tomorrow onwards, like, we'll try to like take all the questions in the end.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Thanks.
So if anyone has any questions, you can raise now. I'll be there.
Hitesh, Hitesh, it will call like a UI or GUI, means it's a UI, right? It totally.
Yeah, user interface, right? Yeah,
Either
GUI or
not,
UI, anything.
not GUI, right? Not GUI. It's not GUI, like kind of, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And most of the queries we can generate by like UI itself, or we will get any chance like to work like customized things also we will get query.
Okay, using UI. Using
Yeah.
UI, a few things like as creating that warehouse, and then if you want to change some options, that options you will get. Even modify after creating also, you can alter that. You can alter script also, it will generate. But it'll be good if you can remember that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And one more thing, as a developer, we can get a chance to work as like admin activities, like creating warehousing, something kind of, or we have.
Probably in lower environments, say development, you might get chance.
Mm.
But not in production. Yeah.
So we will not get the access like.
Maybe that depends on the client. Say if your client is small clients, even there'll be no separate dedicated DBA team. One maybe in developer within the developer team, or for one guy they might give account admin access, and he'll be doing that part. That depends on the requirement. But in big MNCs, right, there will be a DBA. DBA, he will try to give access. I'll explain you the different roles, and I'll tell you which role you will have in lower environments, which role you will get in higher environments. What if you in development, you for sure you can create warehouse. Okay, you will get sysadmin access. So with sysadmin, like you'll be able to do that.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, Hitesh, I have one doubt.
Yeah, Venkatramana.
Yeah, the thing is, you have created this virtual warehouse, right? It is created in while you are creating a Snowflake account, so you selected AWS, right? Is it anywhere related to AWS, or it is completely Snowflake thing?
Oh, it is, everything will be managed by Snowflake. I mean, even cost, like you are not going to pay for AWS, so it is managed by Snowflake itself internally. Okay, you will I mean, in the back end, like Snowflake will take care of all these things. So it will try to store your data, whatever you're trying to insert into. I mean, it'll store the data in AWS in that particular region.
Okay,
But
now
that is,
you
yeah,
have
that is
selected
managed
like
by that will be managed by Snowflake itself.
Snowflake on. Okay.
Most of the things they will manage in the back end, since it is software as a service.
Yeah, got it.
Hi, Hitesh.
Yeah, Ramana.
I have a question. Like, while creating a Snowflake account, right, we have an option to choose AWS as well as GCP. So,
Yeah.
Once we create this account, maybe on AWS, can we change it to Azure?
Your voice is very low. It is breaking. Can you be a bit louder?
Is it clear now?
Yeah.
No, my question is like, once we create a Snowflake account on AWS, can we change it to Azure later on?
Okay, you wanted to switch. Yeah, that is possible because it is cloud agnostic, right?
Okay.
In the sense, first you will have to migrate the data and create a new account. You can this switch, in the sense, usually no one will do that. That is after creating that, but
okay, we have to create another account and we have to
migrate this data from there.
Okay,
that will be simple.
We can change this business critical and those things also. Once we
additions, you are saying, right?
Yeah, additions.
Yeah, you can change that time.
Okay. And one more question is, like, as you said, we have a dedicated virtual warehouse. Like, I'm being an ETL developer, I'm working on ETL things, right? So when I'm developing something in the development environment, so I have to choose this ETL warehouse, which is related to ETL. So who will?
Your voice is very low, Ramna. For some reason, I'm not able to hear you properly. Others, how about others?
Yeah, it is same. It is very low. Yeah, it is very slow. Low.
Maybe my mic is having some issue. Is it clear now or still?
Yeah. Now it's clear.
No, I'm just asking.